Quick question for you. What sold the best in 2024? What's going to sell the best this year? Now that we're in the early stages of 2025, let's take a look back at the best-selling motorcycles and scooters of 2024 and see if we can make some predictions for the best-selling ones for 2025. So what I'll do is I'll cover the best-selling bikes in 2024 and then I'll make my predictions for the best-selling ones for 2025 right at the end. As always, subscribe, and if you can let me know what you predict to be the top-selling bike in 2025 would be, that would be amazing. So as a recap, 2024 was a weird year for bike sales. Euro 5 Plus is now the emissions order of the day, and based on MCIA and DVLA stats, an unprecedented number of bikes and scooters were sold at a discounted rate or pre-registered right at the end of 2024. This bumped up the figures for the tail end of the year and somewhat skewed all of the stats. So we have to keep that in mind. Plus, the 126 to 500cc segment saw the most growth in 2024. So that will certainly influence the 2025 picks as well. It looks like people are after cheaper bikes and smaller bikes, potentially. By no means does this mean that 2024 is a bad year for bike sales though, with some familiar faces taking top spots, some really top selling models appearing, and there were some new entries in 2024. I'll cover the 7 best over a few different categories, and then we'll look at 2025 afterwards. Does that sound good? First in, it's kind of adventure bikes. Now the BMW R1250 GSA sold crazily well in 2024. The price is from £14,415, but of course when you start throwing in the mod cons and the kitchen sink, that price balloons. And it's the undisputed heavyweight king for 2024, and the BMW GS is not quite a surprise, but it's not the model you're expecting. It's not the new R1300 GS or GSA, though the GSA of course was a late launch in 2024, but it's instead the R1250 GSA, the one that preceded the brand new sparkly model. But why is that? Despite the R1300 itself being a sales success, along with being lighter, more powerful and more sophisticated, it seems many owners were unconvinced by what I can only imagine is the strange fridge-like styling of the new GSA. It seems there are a raft of BMW fans trading in for the last of the 1250 GSAs whilst they were still in dealers, calling a surge in sales and then making it the best-selling big bike of 2024. Now we can see the point. The 1250 GSA is a proven monster of an adventure machine. It's versatile, rugged, it's good looking, and with all of the tech most people need. But the new 1250s won't be around for long. Mr. Boat and the £18,780 1300 GSA beckons. How important is style to you as a motorcycle owner? Fun fact as well, I've yet to actually even ride a BMW GS. Crazy, right? Maybe this year is the year. Let's move on to maybe the naked A2 friendly bikes. And the top seller was the Triumph Speed 400. This one's priced from £5,195. So we move on to one of the biggest sales successes of 2024, Triumph's Duo. It's the Speed and Scrambler 400, and they were introduced as the first entry-level machines coming from a partnership with Bajaj of India, and they created an incredible single-cylinder machine with impressive performance and an affordable price tag. I really enjoyed the launch ride. Of course, you can see more on the Speed 400 here and the Scrambler 400X. And it really impressed me the way that not only does it feel to ride, but the style and what you get for your money. Though the initial target for the Speed 400 and the 400 Twins was a younger rider and an A2 license holder, it ended up that many buyers became older existing owners that were trading down or looking for a second bike, one that has the style, performance and lightweight nature, all for a reasonable cost. This caused some problems for Triumph dealers due to the reduced margins in terms of sales margins because they're so cheap, and the unexpected trade-in stock that they were receiving. This certainly does ring true from when I bought my Speed Twin 1200 at Washington Triumph last year, and I was speaking to the guys there and that's exactly what they were saying. The Scrambler 400X is a touch more expensive, particularly now where the price sits at a fraction under £6,000, and the new Bonneville Baby is deservedly the biggest selling 126 and up cc bike of 2024. Though close behind are the Meteor 350 and Himalayan 450, both from Royal Enfield. Tells you quite a bit there. Let's move on to middleweight nakeds that are A2 with restriction, maybe. Top selling here was the Yamaha MT-07, prices from £7,700. So we're moving up in power, and the perennially popular CP2 MT-07 from Yamaha has enjoyed plenty of success, and that's since it was first launched in 2015. Again, a bestseller in 2024, and in 2025 has received a major overhaul and restart, so maybe it's going to do it again. Now, there's plenty to like about the 2024 version, with a characteristically grunty motor twinned to a lightweight chassis for flexible and fast riding, giving both brilliant day-to-day riding alongside the potential for blasts on twistier routes. We cannot recommend that. For £7,700, you can't go far wrong, and the main rivals to the 72 brake horsepower MT could be the CB750 Hornet and the Suzuki GSX 8S. But there are countless rivals out there vying for your attention. So many rivals. The closest, could be the £11,995 Street Triple RS that came in close in sales volume and is arguably the better bike. It's got 118 brake horsepower, it's got top spec in terms of suspension and brakes. I have reviewed the MT-07 a while back and the CB750 Hornet and the GSX 8S elsewhere, and they're all great fun. The MT-07 though was a day of hooligan riding, and it was great fun. The update looks really good as well, but more on that later. Moving on, let's look at maybe sub 1000cc tourers, and the Triumph Tiger 900 GT Pro, priced from £13,895, came above all of the rest. So we did mention Triumph there, but we'll move on to their Tiger 900. It's the leading British brand, and it had another best-selling motorcycle in 2024, one that was actually ahead of the Street Triple RS and just behind the 400s. The Tiger 900 GT Pro is the road-orientated incarnation of the middleweight adventure bike, the Tiger 900. History speaks for itself, as Triumph were one of the first to explore the middleweight adventure category with the Tiger 800 in 2010, second to the 2008 BMW F800 GS, and both have remained successful to this day. A combination of top spec tech and parts and TFT dashboards, great handling and performance, and a reasonable affordability makes the Tiger 900 range a real road-going tool that's particularly appealing, and also the Rally Pro if you're looking for more off-road riding. The launch ride of this generation of Tigers was impeccable. It was 2 days of solid riding near Malaga in Spain, and I loved it. I think it was probably my favourite ever launch. It was just incredible. More up there if you want to find out about it. Moving to 125cc motorcycles, and it's the Honda CB125F, priced from £3,149. So we're moving down to the 125cc world here, and we stray away from multi-cylinder gizmo-laden machines to the true trusty entry level of the CB125F, a bike that I actually passed my CBT on all those years ago. It's a long-time bestseller. It's remained a frugal, air-cooled 10 brake horsepower machine that just keeps on plugging at around 150 miles per gallon, no less. Perhaps no frills, it's one of the most proven and dependable 125 machines out there, and you can't turn your nose up at a £3,149 workhorse that is the starting point for many riders. It's a great foundation, and it just does what you expect every time. So you can understand why it's the best-selling 125 bike of 2024. The question is, will it regain the top spec in 2025? I think it might. For example, Yamaha's YS125 that was kind of competing with it directly is no longer sold as new, and I'd guess it's due to emissions restrictions. It was a little bit agricultural. Pricier options of the MT125 and XSR 125 are the go-to, I guess, though because of the price they may not sell as much in volume. So it's likely that the Japanese rivals have conceded altogether, and there is no point in competing with Honda at all. Let's move to 125cc scooters, and we stay with Honda. It's the PCX 125. The price is from £3,659. Yet again, the 125cc category remains and has long been the best-selling two-wheeler category of all in the UK. And the same rings for 2024 and beyond. But why is that? They're CBT license compatible, and there's plenty of CBT riders out there. They're easy to ride with twist and go, and they're comfortable in everyday situations. Plus, they appeal to cost-conscious commuters and delivery riders alike. For sales and popularity, it's a never-ending battle between Honda's PCX 125 and Yamaha's NMAX 125. And it often goes right to the wire, with large replacement fleet bike orders often tipping the scales. So if you were to have like an accident or something like that, and you've got a scooter, chances are you get a PCX or an NMAX. Tends to be how it works. In 2025, both the PCX and NMAX have been updated with sportier styling and the option of tech versions. The PCX 125DX has a TFT display and is now £3,699. The MMAX 125 Tech Max is £3,900, but their base model is £3,600. This could well mean the PCX wins again in 2025, but we'll have to wait and see. My review of the 2025 MMAX from Barcelona is up there, and that was a great bike. When it's time to get insurance for your moped, scooter or motorcycle, make sure to head on over to lexuminsurance.co.uk for an insurance quote. They have several exclusive schemes only at Lexum, so you could potentially find yourself saving some pennies. Last up is the Honda ADV 350, and this is kind of the maxi scooter market, so bigger scooters. The price for this one is from £5,899. So, the final 2024 bestseller, and it's the Honda ADV 350. Great scooter, in all honesty. The mid-size scooter department is pretty packed, but the Honda ADV 350 just does it all, and it has that bit of adventurous flair. It was launched in 2022, and initial thoughts were that the quirky and niche adventure scooter may not translate to this mid-segment, where the larger £11,000 XADV 750 acts as an inspiration, and that's quite well received, particularly in Europe. But this one, the 350 ADV, has the affordability and practicality nailed for £5,899. When I was riding for Visor Down, I found it immensely enjoyable to ride. And Brett's review here at Bike Matters echoes that. It has bags of storage space, it looks great, and it's just fun. With hindsight, maybe it's no surprise it proved so popular after all. So those are the best sellers in 2024, but what do we think will be the top sellers in 2025? We'll do the same categories, but new picks. The trend seems to be easily identified as the cheapest bikes that offer the most win the most in sales. So with that in mind, let's go forward. Adventure bikes first, and the R1300 GS will likely regain the GS crown for big bike sales in 2025. Though, there could be a surprise in the form of the Multistrada V4. Potentially. It's quite a pricey machine, but I think it's very, very nice indeed. I did ride the V4S, the previous generation model, and that was exceptional. But as I say, the price at £17,695 might scare some people away. But I think it's probably just going to be the R1300 GS, because that looks fantastic, and hopefully I can ride one this year. A2 compliant naked bikes next, and there are plenty of options out there. You've got Royal Enfield's Bear 650 that could prove popular. You've got the NX 500, which is a little bit of a taller one. There's also the 450 NK from CF Moto, and I think that'll be seriously popular, particularly as its price is £4,299. Or, one that I really do think is going to take the cake, is the Honda GB 350S, and that's only £3,949. It's going to tap into the Enfield classic-ish market, if that's not already oversaturated, and it just looks like a fantastic bike for the money. Plus it's a Honda, and Hondas have got great reputations. Middleweight motorcycles next that are not A2 compliant, and realistically the new MT-07 with its fresh face will likely win out. It's also got the YAMT option if you want to just ride it automatic, but I think it could be challenged at the top by the updated Trident 660. That looks like a very interesting bike, and it's now got a few more added features in the tech department, and it could be a popular triple. Sub-1000cc Tourers is an interesting one. Perhaps the Tiger 900 GT Pro continues its reign, but the updated Tracer 9 with its GT variant may have something to say about that. My pick though will remain in Hinckley, and the new Tiger Sport 800 I think is going to run away with it. Looks like a fantastic bike, and by all accounts it seems that the reviews have been exceedingly positive for this bike. Or there's also the NC750X from Honda, the updated one. That could do well. 125cc motorcycles and scooters next. It's a quick one. Realistically, there are plenty of picks, but the CB125F is a trusty beginner and a surefire budget pick. Plus, it's a training school workhorse and it will just be dependable. So I'll stay with that. Scooter pick for 125cc's, and I think it's going to, of course, bounce between the PCX and NMAX. I don't think there's going to be any surprises there, but it'll be interesting to see which one sells the most if the tech variants outsell the base models. My pick goes for the NMAX Tech Max for 2025. I think people are going to be coming out of the woodworks to get that tech offering. Last up, we have Maxi scooters. A top 10 Maxi scooter video is either uploaded now or on the way. But what's going to be the top seller? Adventure scooters are all the rage. Perhaps sim scooters could step up. Maybe the Crew Sim 300. Availability might be a challenge though, and it has to be cheap enough, but good enough and available in large enough quantities. Maybe an X-Max 300, the Forza 350. I think it will stay with Honda. And a bonus pick, electric. There were only 34 electric bikes over 35 kilowatts sold in the entirety of 2024 in the UK. So I'm not going to make a pick for 2025. I think it's going to be a 125cc, an affordable scooter that you can run around town in. I've seen a lot of Nius in the local area. Maybe one of those. Anyway, that's your lot. Cheers for watching this far. Next video is up here. Ciao.